Hello, welcome. My name is Chloe. This is the collective energy forecast for Scorpio season 2024. There is a lot of intense energy. I'm sure you can feel it. And yeah, there's a few transits happening, impacting the collective that I'm going to speak today. I'm also going to be working with, here's the title card. It's called the Jack-o'-lantern Tarot. So for additional support and to sort of like ground down the celestial wisdom that we're channeling through, I like to offer tarot interpretations in conjunction. So yeah, let's get into the stars. I'm recording this on November 3rd, 2024. So we're definitely, into Scorpio season now. We're about a third of the way through. The sun is at 11 degrees Scorpio at this time. And the the moon started waxing. The Scorpio new moon was on Friday and started waxing yesterday on Saturday. So we're well into our picking up speed, picking up energy, that phase of the lunar cycle. And by the time this lunar cycle ends, we will have Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So that's, very exciting. We're absolutely feeling that anaretic degree, I would say. At this point, everyone is feeling like Pluto at the 29th degree of Capricorn. Like, really, is this still where we're at? Is this how we're going to define reality? Do we need to continue, pretending? Um, yeah. So we will talk, of course, about Pluto moving into Aquarius. Everyone's asking about that. First, I am going to speak to the opposition. Mars is at 29 degrees Cancer. The anaretic degree of Cancer is where we have Mars, and that's in direct opposition today, this weekend, with Pluto being at 29 degrees. Capricorn. So this is deeply aggressive, deeply powerful energy. Of course, this is going to impact people, in different ways. But what's coming through for me from my guides is very much around not not in a way that we need to just stay calm to carry on. Like I'm not there's nothing to be calm about. I'm not here to like gaslight you and tell you that like everything is okay. But we are prone to overreact and like to feel things quite intensely. So just yeah, wanting to put that out there so that you have that awareness. Like I'm more likely to be angered easily. I'm more likely to be triggered. Um, but then that's just it, right? Like the events that we're experiencing are deeply triggering. And I don't think we should be like, pathologizing our behavior, how we're acting, like when it's probably like this is how like a normal healthy person would be acting right now. They would be freaking out, okay? So that is true. Like you have a right to be angry. You have a right to to be disruptive of what, the status quo and what's happening and like pushing back against that, pushing up against that as that pushes up against you, infringing on your own like right to life, the earth's right to life, animals right to life, right? Like it's all there, but at the same time, we are experiencing a lot of triggers, a lot of intense activations right now. So some of us are prone to taking it out like on our loved ones. So I would just say, yeah, you want to be keeping that on in mind that like the target of your aggression might not be who it's intended for actually. Like a lot of us will save up our anger for those that we love and care for the most, and it's like very much misdirected. So just to be aware of that. And then like the card that I pulled for that this transit is temperance. So I think that definitely makes sense. Like, of course, Temperance and like the Alchemist and like they've got their like, two cups. They're making like a secret third thing, from the two ingredients. So I definitely love that, that interpretation of the card and thinking about that meaning, like, Lord of the Underworld plus God of War equals like it seems like it's going to be pretty turbulent, it's going to be pretty aggressive, so like that is true, but it's also it could be a secret third thing, like it is greater than the sum of its parts, or there is that magical element involved too, like it doesn't necessarily have to be rage. So it's yeah, it's like a fun topic to dance around because it's like, here I am being like, don't overreact. But I'm also saying you have a right to be angry. Like, of course, you're going to be angry considering what's going on, right? Um, this transit will be over soon, but due to retrogrades and of course, Mars like will be moving into Leo as Pluto's moving into Aquarius. We're going to experience this exact opposition several more times. Of course, Mars moves much quicker than Pluto. Mars takes like about 2 years to transit the zodiac. So they're moving at different speeds. It's not going to be like in this face off, this opposition forever. But as Pluto's moving slowly and Mars begins to move forward, ingressing into Leo, and then like the retrograde and stuff like that. So we're actually we're gonna experience, I think, two or three more times into early 2025, this opposition again. So very much wanting to harness this power and this potential, for the greater good. Of course, working on ourselves there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely a lot of us who feel like if I work on myself, then I am a stronger, better community member. And then, the whole world benefits. If I'm in right relations with myself and who I want to be, and I'm meeting up with, my higher self and all that, that the world will then, be made a better place because I'm a better person. But there is very much a shift happening as well, too, that suggests that, working with your community, working on your community, like making the world better, for people, for animals, for plants to live in, those actions will actually be what helps you self-actualize and what supports you in really like, meeting up with your higher self, right? So another transit that I want to share with you is the Jupiter Venus opposition that is happening this weekend as well. We have Jupiter at 20 degrees Gemini, and then Venus is at 20 degrees Sagittarius. So, unlike the last opposition, which is between more like malefic energies or more volatile energies, they're called malefics. Venus and Jupiter are both benefics. So those are like a lot more fun potentially. So even though that is technically an opposition and there could be like something with like values being at odds with beliefs, would be like how I would read that. There is still like it is a lot of a more it is a lot easier of a transit. It's a lot more like harmonious energies for sure. So yeah, with that one, it does take some of the pressure off of the Pluto Mars transit. It's not in direct aspect to it, but it's another important energy that we're experiencing this weekend as a collective. So it's not all bad. It's not all intense. Like we have yeah, Jupiter in conversation with Venus, and they're two great benefics. So that's something, if you want to like focus on the positive, and there is, yeah, that opportunity, or the challenge or opportunity. It's all the same kind of thing, right? To have your beliefs and values in alignment, because Venus, of course, is values, relationships, and then Jupiter does, yeah, very much relate to our beliefs. So it's interesting, like they can be the same, but they can also be different. And we have shifts in our beliefs and we have shifts in our values too. So we're not necessarily like always on the same page. Yeah, with those things, if that makes sense. Yeah. And then the card that I pulled there um, is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords. This is Mercury in Aquarius. It is an Aquarius card, Six of Swords. So I'm really feeling with this one and how it relates to the transit is allowing yourself, like this card does feature like Mercury as a psychopomp. So the idea is they're like, transiting souls between realms, right? Like this is like the river Styx or whatever, and they're taking souls to the other side. So yeah, just thinking about like how the Jupiter Venus opposition that is in Sagittarius and Gemini. So it's very much like the axis of learning and teaching. So for me, I do feel like that is one of the more like easeful axes to embody, because they love to learn, they love to teach. Like those things aren't necessarily at odds with each other. But Sagittarius is much more firm in their beliefs. Like they have established their beliefs. They are, of course, the ninth sign. Gemini is the third sign. Gemini is more like open and curious, holding multiple truths, learning, understanding different perspectives. And then Sagittarius tends to be a bit more, yeah, a bit more set in their ways, because they have learned, they know, and now they know, and they teach, right? So thinking about, yeah, with the Six of Swords, that could be an invitation to have, yeah, some kind of flexibility to like allow your values and your beliefs to expand, which totally fits, the era that we're in. So many of us have been disillusioned. We thought we knew what was up, and then the veils are dropping, the masks are off, and that is you know, clearly not what's up. Like, that like Grandpa Simpson quote where he's like, I used to be with it, right? And then they changed what it was, and now what I'm with isn't it. And what is it seems weird and scary. Okay. So yeah, I think about that. And yes, like Simpsons quotes, of course. I'm a millennial. That's what I grew up on, right? So the next major transit that I want to speak to is the grand water trine between Mars, the moon, and Neptune. Um, But before I forget, I do want to share that I am promoting my year ahead forecast reading at this time. I know that people are moving into sort of like the shopping season, so I did want to have a really supportive offer out there. This can be purchased like as a gift card if you would like to share a reading with someone you love, friends, family, even colleagues. Receiving a reading can be incredibly wonderful. Love experiential gifts myself. Don't have a lot of space, right? Don't have a lot of space. But it also makes a great gift for yourself too. If you would like some insight on 2025, the year ahead, as an astrological reading, this is something that I've previously only offered to repeat clients, and I wanted to offer a promotion, open it up to the community this time of year. So if you are interested in a year ahead astrological reading, a forecast reading from me, you can send me a message or purchase it on my website. And as I said, also makes a great gift. So please do that. Consider that as well while you're shopping. Okay, so Grand Water Trine, right? Mars in Cancer, Moon in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces, all approaching those final degrees, or right at the final degree. So again, I just want to validate like this intensity that we're all feeling. Like, of course, the Mars Pluto opposition can explain that, but this is really, really deep as well. Mars with the Moon and Neptune. I mean, emotion, aggression, and then you have like that liminality or even confusion that Neptune brings to things, right? It's like we almost don't know what's going to happen. Um, well, no, I mean, I'll say it. Like we don't know what's going to happen, and we're like a bit concerned about that, right? So, if you are feeling like deeply emotional, if you're worried, if you're having bad dreams, like this absolutely makes sense. Like the Mars trine Neptune, Mars trine the Moon, those are definitely going to bring about, like restless sleep or bad dreams, and then of course, the moon and Neptune can be enlightening for sure, but with Mars in the mix, it's like maybe not so much. Of course, it also depends too on your own natal placements as well and what you have going on in your chart. This is just, astrology reading for the collective, what's happening right now, right? So the card that I pulled for the Grand Water Trine is the Ace of Swords, which I love. I love for this transit because Ace of Swords is very much that like new energy of the ace, but the aces hold like all the power and all the potential of the entire suit. And swords does relate to, mental faculties, but also very much like communication and relating in that way. So I'm definitely thinking back to, the collective readings that we did or sorry, the rising sign readings I was doing. There was a lot of, coming up about like opportunities to stand up for yourself, opportunities to live in alignment with your values. Like this is the card of like speaking your truth. This is the card of speaking truth to power, right? So there is this incredible energy going on right now where like, yeah, we need to like stand up for ourselves. We need to speak our truth, stand up for what we believe in, but also like allow the old beliefs to be shed, be open and curious to new values, to new beliefs, and like trusting in that moment when we're in that encounter, that this is what is true to me now. This is who I am now. And it might not be, who I was 10 years ago or last year or even yesterday. Like things are changing rapidly, people are evolving rapidly. We all have access to so much more intelligence, so much more wisdom, but then also like our intuition is strengthening at the same time too. So we're like evolving at rapid speeds. So really allowing ourselves to like embrace and embody those new truths that we may not have even considered before. So I'm just going to let me check my notes here. So the cards that I pulled during the rising sign readings, the cards that kept coming up again and again and again and again, um, were the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. So let me just show you those cards. We'll talk about that. All right. So, the format or the process that I love to follow at this point with with these readings, these transmissions that I've been sharing on YouTube is I'll go through all of the rising signs first. I'll look at their astrological chart using a whole sign house system, um, share what I'm channeling from the celestial bodies, and then like pull a couple of tarot cards to have like further grounded support, um, advice, predictions for those specific rising signs. And then I'll do the collective energy forecast. And I always like to look at, the astrology as a whole, not just for like an individual rising sign, but overall all the astrology. Speak to that, pull a couple cards for that, and then touch on the cards that were reoccurring, the energy that was reoccurring throughout the rising sign horoscopes. Because I don't know, like maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but I'm always so surprised how like, yeah, there'll be like different cards here and there, but there's always like a few cards that show up like 3 or 4 times, like over and over and over again. These cards are asking to be acknowledged. This is really like energy that so many of us, like half of us, are being asked to pay attention to. So yeah, it's definitely, yeah, worth mentioning. So, as I said, the reoccurring cards from the rising sign horoscopes are the Five of Wands. I just like can't get over this face in the clouds with the bats. I just love this so much. This Jack-o'-lantern tarot is so funny. Okay. I also have that's the Five of Wands. I also have the Six of Pentacles, and we got a lot of pentacles. So a lot of like, consider being grounded, consider stability, right? Consider the material realm. So we have, yeah, the Six of Pentacles. And then the other reoccurring card was the Queen of Wands, which is like it's definitely witch energy, which is so Scorpio season, right? So there's the beautiful Queen of Wands, and this deck, her sunflower has like kind of like an interesting face there. And then her crown is like bird like. Yeah, it's such a beautiful and interesting, beautiful and funny deck. Um, Okay, so with the Five of Wands, considering the astrology we've gone through, considering everything, I definitely think about this one as far as like infighting goes. And and misplaced aggression, right? Like a lot of us have the same goals, the same desires, but we can be, maybe scattered when it comes to like executing the changes that we want to see. And yeah, definitely thinking about how I mentioned a lot of us will like save up our anger and our aggression for those that we're closest to. And it's like, it's completely misplaced. So I definitely see this as a reminder to be like, you're feeling activated, but you only feel safe to express that to like your partner, your kids. Like, is that really who you're angry with, right? So trying to yeah, and thinking about the temperance card, trying to like to temperate that, right? To yeah, to keep yourself in check. You're going to be feeling a lot of fire. You're going to be feeling a lot of water. So just try not to let that yeah, that let that be misplaced. And there's a lot of people who you don't like who you have things in common with. Um, as members of the collective, we definitely have a lot in common, even if we don't have everything in common. And it's time that we start yeah, looking for those bridges, building coalition with people that we might not agree with like absolutely every single thing, but we like don't have time to fuck around anymore. Okay, like it's time to organize, it's time to collaborate. Let's focus on yeah, on what is important. Okay, and then of course there is the Six of Pentacles, which is all about reciprocity. So this has been coming up so much lately in my client readings as well. There seems to be Yeah, a much greater need for us to rely on each other. Like there's been a major fallout recently with like this like lone wolf, like almost like toxic individualism where it's like I'm gonna do everything for myself. Everything I've earned, everything I built is just because of me. I haven't had the support of friends and family, and therefore I will not be supporting my friends and family. So this talks about like that balance between giving and taking, thinking about like how much we have extracted from the earth and how little she requests from us in return for like holding us and nurturing us like forever as as like our mother figure. So what can we be doing to be giving back? And then, what can we be doing to be giving back, and strengthening in our own communities, not just like who can pick me up from the airport, right? But who can I pick up from the airport? Is there something that I can be doing? So really putting a lot into your connections, into your relationships, and that I would say includes people that you don't have that you have some things in common with, but that you don't have everything in common with, because we have to get over that we're all going to want the same things and have the same beliefs and values. Like that just is not the case. We're going to have to focus on what we do have in common, and building from there. Really honoring and appreciating and respecting the differences, not focusing on semantics, not focusing on identity politics. Like that is a distraction. That is a major distraction. Okay, like let's not. Um, all right, awesome. And then the last card that we kept getting again and again is the Queen of Wands. I haven't worked with this deck much, so I'm just definitely still scoping it out as well. And I just love the details on this card. Oh, this one as well has like some like looks like a baby in the cloud. I don't know if you can see that. That's that's just amazing. Okay. So with the queens, they all provide a bit of like emotional stability, emotional security, like a sanctuary or like cove, if you will. Um, Not contributing in the same way that the kings do, but like really holding that space and really being able to provide that safe, secure sanctuary, right? And she's the Queen of Wands. This is all about like your passion and your fire and your desire and following your heart. So I'm definitely thinking too about the Ace of Swords and like speaking truth to power and standing up for yourself and doing what you believe is right. And yeah, like with the Judgment card, how it's like those opportunities to live in alignment with your own beliefs and stuff. So I definitely feel the support from the Queen of Wands. Like this is an Aries card as well too, so like definitely thinking about how fire can support us. But yeah, she's gonna hold the space for us. She's gonna be the one to nurture and to guide us and like nurture and support us when we're that flame within that we all have. So I think that part of it is we do get to be individuals in the collective. We all have different gifts that we're going to bring. But yeah, there's this whole thing right now about like we're not all going to be the same. So you still get to be you, and that is beautiful, and we're all different. But focusing our energy collectively on the common good, on the common goals, like that's something that the Queen of Wands, I think, absolutely supports us with. So a bit of a shorter video today. Well, actually, I'm not sure how long I've been recording for, but yeah, I am. Like I said, still getting over a little bit of illness, so I don't want to talk too much. I just, when I come on here, I just like get so excited about, sharing with you what's going on and everything. So, we'll leave that there. I'm going to be back in like a week and a half with a full moon forecast with you. So we'll check in there, talk more about what's going on as the wheel of the year turns. Things will evolve. We'll all be changing. We'll be all be progressing. But then, yeah, we're gonna have some of the same same lessons repeating as tends to happen. So if you have, any questions at all, or if you have any comments, I invite you to comment down below the video. And if you haven't already checked out, the horoscopes for your rising sign, those are all complete now. So I invite you to, just to check in there to have a more, individualized forecast as well, if that's something that you're interested in. So thank you so much for watching. Happy Scorpio season, and I will see you